All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, I have lost my voice, so I apologize in advance. Hi, everybody. I'm Brandon, and I'm the Director of Partnerships and Events for the Fitchburg Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining us today for a special edition of Fitchburg Focus Economic Development Update. We have a lot of really great growth going on in Fitchburg, and we're super excited to have all of you here and learn a little bit more about what's going on. First, we have to do some things that are happening at the Chamber. I want to thank our corporate sponsors, MG&E, Park Bank, TDS, Cardinal, and of course, Group Health Cooperative. Also a huge shout out to Fact TV. They're recording this, so if you want to go back and look through it again, you're welcome to do that. So thank you to Fact TV for recording today. And then of course, thank you Blue Plate, and we are currently in the Fowler, which is their event space. So this is available for businesses to be able to use, or for private events or parties or things like that. So please come here. They have a great bar over there, and of course the catering is right here. So you don't have to go anywhere. It's all included here. We have some upcoming events at the Chamber. First up, on Wednesday, July 29th, we have a table talk. How many of you have joined us for table talk before? Many of you. As you can see, there's a lot of you that have joined us. Some of you did not put up your hands. Please come join us for table talk. We actually started this during COVID. It was when we had to have smaller groups. We only allowed 16 individuals, 2 people per industry. So there's a wide range of people that you're going to meet and be able to recommend business to each other. So it's a really fun event. But this is on Wednesday, July 29th at the Great Dane from 11:30 until 1. Next up, we have a wonderful groundbreaking with Melissa. We're very excited. The UPS store is doing a new groundbreaking, so you're going to learn more about that today. But we are celebrating them on Thursday, July 30th at 10 a.m. So come join us there for their new home.
Are they closing?
Yes. Yeah, they're moving over, yeah. On July 30th, we are headed to the Rust TV Lounge for Fitchburg Biz After Hours. It was on a different date, but they started doing an outdoor market, and I didn't want to do after hours and the outdoor market at the same time, so I did move it to the week after. So if you do have that in your calendar for the week before, make sure you switch it over to July 30th. But this is from 4:30 to 6:30. Come hang out, network, and meet some great people, of course, at the Rust TV. Next up, we have Coffee Connect. This is opposite of this event. So we don't do Fitchburg Focus every single month, so opposite months, it's just a networking event over coffee. I know some people have busy lives after work, so this is a great opportunity to do that in the morning from 8:30 to 9:30. This month or in August, we're gonna be at Midwest Financial Group. If you didn't know this, based on last year, they have a new location, so come see their new location. They've been there for just over a year, but come and network with some great people. And then we have after hours in there again, Hop House in August. And we have a ribbon cutting for Gigi's Playhouse. Very excited for them. Come see their new spot. I got to do a hard hat tour. It's a very cool space. I'm very excited for Kelly and the team. It's gonna be great for Fitchburg. So come see that and welcome them to Fitchburg. Last but not least, we have concerts at McKee. Last month was probably the busiest month I've ever seen at concerts at McKee. We had probably well over 2,000 people there. It was a really great event. It was so awesome. We have over 9 food trucks and carts. Lions Club is there with beer and wine. But our next one is actually next Monday, July 20th. We have Bumpus. They're from Chicago. It's a really great blues soul band. It's really awesome. And new this year, we're doing a stage. So there's going to be a stage, so we're going to be up a little higher because people were mad last month because people were standing in front of the band. So we got a stage now. So, and then August 17th is Chicago Latin Group. They were supposed to be here last year but got rained out. So we're excited to welcome them back this year. And I hope that you guys all come because it's the day before my birthday. Oh yes, up next we have the Fitchburg Agora Art Fair on August 15th. Just a great community event. Come hang out. The Chamber does run the beer tent. I am looking for volunteers for the beer tent, and it's 3 different shifts, so you're only there for maybe an hour, hour and a half. So if you want to come volunteer and pour beer, You're welcome to wear your business apparel so people can see that you're volunteering in the community. I'll take volunteers, so feel free to email me or just see me afterwards and I'll mark you down. Okay, I said last but not least 3 slides ago. We are doing Bike the Bird Challenge. So it's bike 150 miles until October, which is not a lot. So what you can do is you register online, and then you can win gift cards for your businesses in Fitchburg. It doesn't take a lot. You just register online. It's free to join all the way until through the end of September. So thank you to Fitchburg Family Pharmacy and Necesta for sponsoring. We do have new chamber partners. So if there's any new chamber partners here, when I say your name, stand up so you can say a few words. Since the last time we were here, we have IBC Business Solutions. I don't think I saw her here. We have The Hive, Culinary Space. No? Okay. Wealth Distribution Strategies. Our new members are really showing out today. Playpen Sports Academy. I did not see him here. Advanced Employment. No? Okay. Lavender Haze. I did not see that. Wild Room. Okay. Body Wave Chiropractic. Great job, new members. I did invite all of them to come. But please welcome all these new members if you do see them out and about at some of the events. And they are in our newsletter that we do send out every Tuesday morning. So please make sure to reach out to them and just welcome them to the chamber and to the business community. That's all I have. You don't have to listen to me anymore because Mike has a very long presentation. So without further ado, please make some noise all the way to the city of Fitchburg. Mike Zimmerman.
Thank you, Brandon, and good morning, everybody, and welcome on this warm and steamy day. I was about ready to wear shorts this morning. I don't know about you, but thanks for coming out and joining us, and thanks to our great partners at the Fitchburg Chamber Visitor Business Bureau. Let's give them a nice round of applause for all the good work that they do for our community. Then before I get started, I just wanted to introduce my colleagues. Joyce Fry is here, our Economic Development Specialist. And then Lorene Gage, our Housing Initiatives and Program Specialist, is here with us this morning as well. And then a shout out to our Communications Director and Fact TV for their coverage of all things Fitchburg. So Jeremy and his team do a great job for us here in the community. You good to go?
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, as Jeremy said, or as Brandon said, I've got a lot to cover this morning. It seems like I'm always trying to cut out slides, but then I'm not sure what to cut out because there's various things going on in Fitchburg. So we'll go through this fairly quickly. Some of you have probably seen and heard a lot of this before, but there's always kind of recent updates to various projects that are going on in Fitchburg. Well, if we haven't met yet, I'm Mike Zimmerman. I'm the Economic Development Director for the City of Fitchburg. I've been around for 30 years, so I'm kind of part of the furniture now in the community. Focused on economic development, community development, redevelopment. Housing has become a local priority, and then also working with the Chamber on tourism, promotion, and marketing of Fitchburg. So it's been a great 30 years. I'm on my 9th mayor, and they haven't thrown me out yet, so we'll see if I make it to number 10. Here is our Common Council. I know Mayor Julia had a work commitment this morning, so she couldn't join us. And then we've got 8 members of our council within 4 aldermanic districts. And then we have elections every year now, where we have the even-numbered seats up, even-numbered years, and then the odd-numbered seats. So watch for an election every year in Fitchburg with the elected officials. One thing we'd encourage you to do is stay engaged. There's a lot going on in the community all around the city. 2 ways to do that are to go to our website to sign up for the Notify Me. You can get various agendas for council, plant commission, public works. And then if you want to follow development projects specifically, if you go to our GIS maps page and look at the development application viewer, you can actually pull up the applications for development projects all around the city to keep track of what's going on. Here's Fitchburg at a glance in 2026. With our geographic, economic, and population diversity, we're one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Wisconsin. We're now over 36,197. Our tax base continues to grow. We're over $6.16 billion. And that growth has led us to what we're very proud of, a AAA bond rating that Moody's gave us about 2 years ago. So a lot of good stuff happening in Fitchburg. As you can see, the median home value is $504,700,000. So housing is a challenge for us from an affordability standpoint, and that's something that we continue to work on. And then again, we have a great partner here with our Fitchburg Chamber Visitor Business Bureau. And we also work closely with the Latino Chamber and the Black Chamber as well, since we've got one of the most diverse populations in the state of Wisconsin. With a growing community, of course, we need to invest in facilities. If you've been by our civic campus lately, our 60,000 square foot police facility, $35 million investment, is under construction. That's going to anchor the corner of Research Park Drive and Lacey Road. And they'll be moving in early 2027. And then once the police move out of City Hall, then we're going to do a major remodeling of City Hall. Probably about $17 million investment in City Hall. That's what they have in the CIP at this point in time. Just like a house, we still have the original carpet when we moved into City Hall. So we're definitely in need of an upgrade and a modernization of our space and our workforce environment for our City Hall team. We continue to reinvest in those older neighborhoods of Fitchburg that developed when we were still a town. Fish Hatchery Road, the Southdale neighborhood on the east side of Fitchburg, and then the Jamestown Belmar area. And one of the investments that we made recently in Fish Hatchery Road, just north of Traceway Drive, is the neighborhood community center called the Hostahoche, right there in the heart of the Fish Hatchery Road corridor. So again, kind of going back to some of those older neighborhoods that don't have kind of the facilities and amenities that we have in our newer neighborhoods in the community. So that continues to be a priority. Now we continue to build our biking brand with the B-Cycle network that we have robust throughout the city. You can pick up a bike on the east side, go to the west side, down the middle, and really connects Fitchburg geographically throughout the entire geographic area. Fitchburg's legacy as Wisconsin's recycling leader has now transformed into a sustainability leader with the sustainability plan that the council adopted in April of 2025. We're very proud of that legacy, and as you can see, there's 170 action items. So we're keeping very busy on the sustainability front. And one of our commitments is we're literally growing energy in the city of Fitchburg with 4 solar farms with our partner Madison Gas and Electric. So something that we're very proud of in our community. We're well positioned because of multiple substations and also the not only local, but also the regional ATC transmission lines. As we try and facilitate development projects through our city approval pipeline, we've modernized and kind of updated our processes. So every week now on Tuesday, we have a development team meeting. It's kind of a one-stop shop that people that are working on development projects can come and meet with. You can see the list of departments there on the right. Everybody from planning and zoning to the fire department are there. So people can get all of their questions answered at one time to really be efficient with the process. We've also modernized our application system. You don't even have to come into City Hall these days. You can submit your applications online 24/7, 365 through our OpenGov portal. And then we're using ePlan for an expedited plan review process. They've got a turnaround of 15 days. And with that, Smart Growth Greater Madison did an analysis last year. Fitchburg is the most efficient community as far as moving projects through the pipeline. Credit to our planning and public works team and also to our smart code zoning that allows for some of those approvals to be done administratively. So we're trying to keep our pipeline moving forward and get projects in the ground. Our comprehensive plan on the right there guides where we grow and how much we grow. And the last one was updated in 2019. And then our land use plan on the left directs that growth within our urban service area. One of the things that we're experiencing right now, we're in desperate need of a major comp plan update and also a zoning code and a sign code update. Those two documents, zoning code and sign code, haven't been updated since we incorporated as a city in 1983. So much has changed in the economy and with the way that development is done. So our planning colleagues have launched that process this month. We've hired a firm Joselle Levine out of Chicago that will be leading us through this process. It'll be a 2-year process. Takes a while to get through this. But we would encourage all of you to really participate and engage in that process. We need your input, involvement, and feedback as we really modernize a lot of our city kind of visions and documents there. So watch for more information on how you can participate in both of those processes. Here's our current vacant land map, but I was looking at the acreage. It says 1,560, and it seems like a lot. Well, as I was looking at the colored areas, I was already looking, well, this one's already under development, and that's under development. So I had already counted up another 200, 250 acres we need to subtract from this number. So this map is out of date. And then the other thing that we experience in the economic development world is that while there might be land that's vacant, it's not always available. Because we don't own the land, it's contingent upon our private property owners and our private sector partners as far as their timing and when they want to bring their land forward for development. So that's always a continuing challenge for us as we try and stay ahead of the demand that's needed, since Dane County is the fastest growing county in the state of Wisconsin. And right now, we're in short supply of land for new residential subdivisions for single family and also larger tracts of land for industrial land. So those are two priorities that we're trying to figure out. Where can we find and open up more land to continue that development pipeline? 2 neighborhood plans that were approved in September of 2025. The South Stoner Prairie plan on the west side of the city at Fitzrona and Lacey Road, and then the Greenfield neighborhood plan on the east side along Sain Road. Both got approved and adopted. They're not in the urban service area yet. South Stoner Prairie is still under quarry activity there, so it's going to be probably 3 to 5 years before that'll be available to start to open up. And then Greenfield is around one of those rural residential subdivisions that developed when we were still a town. So again, it'll be the pace and the timing over there will really be contingent upon when property owners are making their land available for development. But we've at least got these ready to go when circumstances on the ground can allow them to move forward and help us open up some things. Even though Fitchburg is one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Wisconsin, that's never been our goal. We've always focused on the quality of development and development that's going to stand the test of time. So if you're developing in Fitchburg, you can be assured that the investment that you're making today is going to be complemented by investments from other partners that bring projects forward in the future. 2025, we had another really good year. We tapped out at $338 million building permit construction activity. This was a mix of business, multifamily, and single-family residential. So a really good, healthy balance of economic growth and activity. And there on the right, you can see for 2026 year-to-date at the end of June, we're around $193 million at this point in time, with a few big projects still coming in on deck that should add to that number. So we should have a fairly good year again this year. And that's helpful for us because, as you know, in an era of levy limits, we're limited to net new construction. So we want to get that valuation as high as we can to meet the needs of a growing city and a growing population. Our Forward Fitchburg Economic Development Strategic Plan called for us to focus on building places and spaces along our 3 north-south corridors. So we've got Verona Road on the west, Fish Hatchery Road down the middle, and then Highway 14 on the east side. And we've got growth occurring along all 3 of those north-south corridors, and I'll be highlighting those development projects as we continue our tour here today. We're in the process of updating our economic development strategic plan. We're working with Vanderwall and Associates. We've already had 3 topic roundtable discussions. One was focused on commercial centers and identities that I know some of you attended. We also have one for economic positioning for kind of those emerging industries. And then we added one for everything is about AI these days, so AI in the future of the economy there. So we had some really good subject matter experts that came out. They gave us some valuable input and perspective and feedback. The last one that we'll be doing is what we're calling a developer roundtable that you're all welcome to join us for. That's going to be on Thursday, July 30th from 2 to 4 p.m. and that's going to be right here in this room. So if you want to come out and give us some feedback and perspective on our development process, even though we've done some upgrades and modernizations? Are there still some areas where we can do some system and processes improvements? And then we also want to talk about, be forward-looking, of how do we drive kind of that multi-story, mixed-use, higher density type development to create successful projects that work not only for the developer, but also that work for the end users, especially some of those retail commercial uses that we would like to bring to Fitchburg. To help facilitate that growth along these three corridors, we're using our local economic development tool. If you've heard of tax increment finance, TIF, or TID for the actual geographic district that's in place. So on the left there, we've got TID number 10, which covers our Fish Hatchery Road corridor. The green one in the middle is TID number 16, which is for the Novation campus in the Southdale neighborhood. And then on the west side in blue where we are today, we've got the TID number 17 that covers Anton and Arrowhead neighborhood. So this is a valuable tool to help us be a partner and collaborate on development projects. Forward Fitchburg also called for us to continue to invest in our Fitchburg technology neighborhood. We've got a really good concentration of industry clusters with science, technology, instrumentation, advanced manufacturing that we want to continue to build on. And with our central location and proximity within the greater Madison region, we're well suited for those activities. The Fitchburg technology neighborhood calls for those kind of employment-anchored mixed-use centers that then are connected by residential subdivisions, bike trails, and walking paths to create complete neighborhoods all around the city. The first one, of course, was Fitchburg Center, where Promega is headquartered. Their 380-acre campus continues to grow and build out. They're currently investing in some of their existing buildings that are on their campus, so significant dollars going into the biopharmaceutical technology center. So you don't see it from the outside, but there's a lot of dollars going to the inside for lab and manufacturing facilities. The other unique project that there's a dedication for later this afternoon is they actually put in a boardwalk on the north side of their property that overlooks the E-Way. And it provides public access to the Nevins Springs overlooking the wetland there. So we're going out there with the mayor and Bill Linton today at around 2:30 for the dedication of that. But watch for information if you're looking for a neat kind of environmental area just to take a walk. It's open to the public and available. So a great investment for them and speaks well of their, not only as a corporate citizen, but a community citizen here in Fitchburg. Then our friends at Grace, you might have seen the headlines. They're bringing us an innovative European holistic model for dementia care. So they're creating the Dementia Village that'll have 64 units, so a $40 million investment on their campus with some significant unique features. Then as we move to the Fitchburg Technology Campus, two recent businesses there are Encompass Health and then the Learning Experience Child Care Center. Both of those being in place now have kind of drawn renewed interest to those vacant lots. So there's still some really good prime lots. If you know of anybody that's looking for a place to locate a business or a facility, we've got some lots right at Fish Hatchery Road and Nobel Drive, and then right at Sparklestone as well. So we'd be happy to talk to anybody if you know of somebody that's working on a project. Then as we move to the east and we get to Techlands, that's anchored by Promega's Kepler Center. They did a recent expansion of that. There's actually 3 certified sites. If you see the yellow box there, those are certified in Wisconsin sites, so they're shovel ready. So if there's any smaller science and technology companies that are looking for a home, Joyce Lorene and I would be happy to talk to them about those lots. And then you hear a lot of buzz about data centers these days. I'm not sure how many people realize, but Fitchburg has a small data center in our community right along Nobel Drive, approximately 36,000 square feet. It's now owned by US Signal, and that can be expandable up to 60,000 square feet. So we worked on that project back in the early 2000s. It was a real kind of learning experience. I hear all the conversations today and things like energy, water, noise were all things that we worked through with this small scale data center project. So we actually have some knowledge in that area, and I think we're open maybe to conversations about some other facilities, maybe of an appropriate size and scale. We're not going to be the mega's 1,000 acres, but we do think that if there is some interest, there could be a optimal level that we could have some conversations about. Then as we move to the east side, still with these mixed-use employment centers, we get to Uptown Fitchburg off the Highway 14 Lacey Road interchange. This 400-acre kind of master planned area falls under what we call our smart code zoning. So our traditional zoning is Euclidean by use. So you got your business, you got your industrial, your residential. This is smart code, which is form-based, and it's about the block structure, how the buildings are sited, and where the parking's either underneath or behind the building and everything. But what's unique about this site here, if you put a dot down on that Lacey Road interchange, within a 10-mile radius, you actually reach 70% of Greater Madison-Dane County's population. There's not a spot in Sun Prairie or Middleton that captures that population reach. So we think we've got a unique opportunity here with that central location and proximity and access for this to really be a special neighborhood for it. So we're continuing to work with developers, and Shine Phoenix is our first corporate anchor that's there. Neutron Imaging Company with a lot of smart people there. It's fun to go and learn and talk about their industry. And good headline today for Wisconsin and for Madison that Rialta Fusion has selected Madison, the Oscar Mayer campus, for their Fusion R&D facility. Joyce and I have worked quietly with them. We had Fitchburg on the list when they were looking for vacant land, and then they shifted to an existing building. But we're going to continue to cultivate that relationship with them as their technology and industry grows there. But in Uptown, in addition to Shine, we've got significant residential growth. If you see on the right-hand side, we're already at 1,707 apartment units in the Uptown neighborhood. And the reason that's important is as we try and fill in that trade ring of this 400-acre neighborhood, the most common question we get is, when are we getting a grocery store there? And we can't really have serious conversations about that until we really start to fill in. We're great on the 10-mile, we're great on the 3-mile pretty much, but the 1 mile is kind of light yet with some of the vacant land that we have over there. So we want to continue to add those residential units to this area. Two signature projects that are going to help us with that. UW Health, Unity Point, Meriter, and Life Point have proceeded with a physical rehabilitation hospital, 40 beds, a $45 million investment. This is hopefully the first of multiple medical and healthcare facilities. They own another 20 acres in Uptown, and someday this will be a significant healthcare campus for those entities. And then the Avante Properties has broken ground on the Lido Apartments right at the roundabout at East Sherrill Parkway and Lacey Road. 114 units, $29 million investment here, signature project that's going to anchor that premier corner. So some good stuff happening in this neighborhood. Then you got to kind of turn your head here. This is Uptown kind of sideways, so you can read the text as well. But the thing we're focused on now is this is Lacey Road, trying to open up this land to the north. And back to my earlier comment about the property owners, we've got the Holmes, Bobberschmidt, and the Osborne families that we're quietly working with to get this land opened up and accessible for future development. So hopefully that helps us with those conversations for retail and commercial. And we do have interest from an experienced developer that has done grocery anchored development. I don't want to get people's hopes up, but we at least have somebody that has that experience for kind of right at this corner here, because they're going to want to be at a signalized intersection, and there will be a signal there in the future. But that's why it's important to get that land to the north opened up so we can have more serious conversations with this developer and the grocery entities that they work with. And they work with all the big four there that are out there. So we're fortunate that I think we've got a great development partner to eventually bring something forward. Then as we move south of Uptown, we opened up the 120 acres Hartung Fields. That provides some additional land for science and technology companies. Again, we're in short supply of that, but this helps us with the inventory, especially for some of the requests for proposals that we get from our state partner, the WEDC, and then our regional partner, MadRep. This area is also experiencing significant residential growth thanks to Ned Hoyt and our Ragtag partner ventures there. The Juniper Apartments opened last July. They've got the Rowan Apartments currently under construction with another 210 units. Corey Frank brought us 51 townhome units last year. And then we're excited to be welcoming Gigi's Playhouse to Fitchburg when they open in August of this year. So good stuff happening in this corridor. Then as we zip up Highway 14, in between Highway 14 and MM, you might have heard me mention before the Fawside property, the Cleanfill site there, was the home to the Jesus statue that Pastor Phil has me trying to find where Jesus relocated to. I still got to track him down where that statue went. On this site, we started out with the Alexander Company. That project didn't come to fruition. Then we were working with a great group out of Milwaukee, Royal Capital, Kevin Newell and Terrell Walter. And then the numbers changed as far as interest rates, construction costs, so they walked away from the project. Now we got a local developer, a guy by the name of Mark Fairchild that many of you may know, that's bringing forward a comprehensive development plan for 2 multifamily buildings, about 315 units. Then we introduced him to Trilogy Health out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're looking to do a 119-unit continuum of living and care facility all the way up to skilled nursing care. Then there's going to be 40 townhome ownership units on the north end in the blue, and then 35 single-family lots. The multifamily buildings will also have a mixed-use component as well, so there will be some commercial in a couple of those buildings. But we've had TID number 11 in place for a number of years, but if this all goes as planned, they're looking at a projected investment of $104 million at this site. So that'll turn out well in the end for us. Then as we zip up to the Novation campus in the Southdale neighborhood, and Andrew's here from the Alexander Company, there's still some really good lots that are available. We've got some great anchors here. We've got Quartz, Exact Sciences, other lab processing facility, Delta Beer Lab, the Zimbrick dealerships. We've got Rutabaga. North of the pond, we got the Greater Heights Climbing Gym south of the pond. But in the interior section there's some great lots that are still available for development. So again, if you have folks that are looking for mixed-use, multi-story, kind of flex space uses, we'd be happy to talk to them, so send them our way. Now we're coming down Fish Hatchery Road in the heart of the city. This area developed when Fitchburg was still a town, and we invested a couple years ago $28 million in a generational reconstruction of Fish Hatchery Road, and we did it on a hope and a prayer that if we invested that $28 million, that the private sector will respond to that with the vision that we have in place. We're pleased to report we're already at $100+ million, and the TID is cash flowing. So we're happy to report that, and that's due to all of these projects. We started out with UW Credit Union. We got Park Bank, Highline Senior Apartments, Terrace Point, Bella Springs, Oshala Springs, and then our partner City on the Hill is also expanding out to Fish Hatchery Road to kind of bring us that urban form, which is one of our goals as part of our vision there. So a lot of good stuff happening here, and we've got continued momentum. There's also reinvestment that you sometimes don't see from the outside. At the Renew at the Greens did $10 million. Renew at High Ridge on the south side, $10 million to reinvest in that older multifamily housing stock in Fitchburg. Hatchery Hill has new owners, local owners, which I'm thankful for because the previous group I wasn't real positive on. They're making significant investments. Hatchery Hill's 30 years old, so they're in need of capital, replacement and investments, and this local group is really following through on those items, which we're pleased. And then the Wyndham Garden got an exterior facelift and paint job, and then they remodeled and reinvested in all of their hotel rooms as well. So good stuff happening in this neighborhood. The next project's on deck on Fish Hatchery Road. We've got Melissa here, who they purchased the property at the corner of Fish Hatchery Road and Oshala. And we had the closing, or we're working on the closing yesterday, for a remnant parcel that the city is providing to enable them to do a building right at the corner to anchor that intersection. That'll be the new home in March of 2027 of the UPS store. And then they'll have space for 1 or 2 other tenants, depending on how much space the next tenant takes up there. So great project. And then our friends at Ragtag Ventures, the long-awaited redevelopment of Bowman Plaza, where the Stop and Go C-store used to be. will get demolished hopefully around the end of the month here. And that'll become a 7-story building, 5 over 2, 278 market rate apartments. They're bringing back 11,700 square feet of commercial space, a $77 million investment in our community. So a signature project for Fitchburg. So thanks to Ned and his group at Ragtag Ventures. The other one that we've got being conceptualized is north of Traceway Drive, across from the Highline Senior Apartments. Plesco owns that land, and they're looking at possibly a WIDA Litech project there of 70 units. That would average kind of 60% of Dane County median income. So we're still working out the final details with them on that potential project. These are all moving forward. We will be 200 million plus as far as that private investment leveraging our 28 million public sector investment. So really a great success story on Fish Hatchery Road as we transform what was the town of Fitchburg into the city of Fitchburg of today. Then as we head to McKee Road, the courtyard has some great assisted living and memory care units that we needed for our senior population. Then the former Benvenuto's, if you haven't been to the reincarnation of that, it's now the Fairway Lounge that has golf simulators, but then they still have the bar, and they serve Salvatore pizza pies if you're looking for a good pizza. And then they have a rotation of food truck vendors that also provide food at that location. So credit to local resident Jason for that redevelopment of that property. Moving over to the west side of Fitchburg, Seminole Highway and McKee Road, we've got the Oak Retail Building for some great Class A retail and commercial space there. We'd like to find some good tenants for that space. The Painters Union reinvested in that building south of the theater overflow parking lot, and that's their new headquarters for their organization. And then Terso Solutions, the RFID kind of storage and inventory company that is located on the Promega campus, and then they're also in the building immediately south of AMC. They're reinvesting in that building, and that will then be their headquarters and expanded manufacturing capacity for them. So another company that's quietly growing here in Fitchburg. And then our friends at General Beverage, now that their headquarters is complete, they've got some acreage south of Cottonwood Drive for a future warehouse expansion that they envision. That'll be kind of contingent upon some of the brand products from the spirits world, Gallo and Constellation brands that'll kind of drive when that warehouse expansion happens. Then we worked with Payne and Dolan. We're here east of Verona Road, north of Lacey Road, adjacent to Commerce Park Drive, to try and open up some land, again, for industrial, clean manufacturing, light industrial. This would be a reclamation of some of those quarries from our township days. So we're hoping to open up some additional land, but we've got tax increment district number 18 in place to help to facilitate that in the future. Then our friends at Sub-Zero have settled into their new headquarters and conference center in Fitchburg, north of their barn hospitality. Whoops, got a little trigger happy here. North of the barn hospitality facility that they have on their campus. You can see it kind of in the middle picture in the distance. So we literally are now their global campus here in Fitchburg as they've moved their executive offices here. So they've been a great, not only private sector partner, but also a good community partner that'll be coming up in just a second here. And then Edgewood University, they purchased that 40 acres south of Lacey Road, adjacent to the Badger State Trail by the natural gas kind of substation there. And they're gonna start on the wetland restoration right there. And they're gonna turn that into an ecological laboratory for one of their programs. So they're gonna get started on that this year. And then next year is when we'll start to see some of the development of their athletic fields as they go forward. And then the actual field house and facilities there will depend upon when they get kind of that lead donor that'll drive one of those projects. But this will be a great campus for them to consolidate all of their athletic programs and sporting events. Then the Verona Area School District has done some recent land acquisitions to position them for the future. In between Capek Road and King James Way, they've acquired land for a future neighborhood elementary school. And then looking out 20 years, they acquired the former Lacey Farm at Muchler Road and Lacey Road. just to the south of where their elementary and middle schools are, for a future high school, second high school. That'll be located in Fitchburg. That was one of the top priorities identified in the last Forward Fitchburg strategic recommendation, so we're really pleased. I didn't think we'd accomplish that one in this period, but that was a nice surprise working quietly with them. And then this is where the Bakke and Schwartz family have been the lead donor to drive, and Mark is here from the YMCA of Dane County today, has joined us. What a signature community development project. You might have seen the headline in the press conference a couple weeks ago. Right at the corner of McKee Road, Spoke and Sprocket, west of the Badger State Trail, a brand new YMCA of Dane County. They'll break ground later this fall. 97,000 square foot facility, $58 million investment. It's going to have 100 capacity childcare incorporated within the building. And another unique feature is a 10,000 square foot Access Community Health primary care clinic that'll serve their projecting 5,000 residents out of this location. So a credit to Mark and his team and the Bakke and Schwartz family, and also Jerry Frauchi, one of his legacy projects there too. So this is just a really dynamic project for our community, and we're excited to have them coming forward. The McKenzie Regional Workforce Center in the Arrowhead neighborhood continues to be an employment pipeline for the trade industries. And then as we jump to the west side of Verona Road, La Hispana took over that former Quick Trip that was at Williamsburg Way. And then the Latino Chamber that has been headquartered in the Roughing It in Style former building, they now have purchased that building. So that's some really good news, and they're going to make investments in that building, and that will be the headquarters for the Wisconsin Latino Chamber, a great partner for us. And then here we are today in Blue Plate Catering. What a great transformation of this former furniture store from multiple generations, and with the Fowler Event Center, some much needed event space for us. So we appreciate them hosting us today. And then the next project that'll be coming is a renovation of the former Mad Power, and if you've been around long enough, Dry Bean Saloon, and that's going to be transformed into Los Perez supermarket at that site. They're going to be doing some investments, and also they're going to have a taqueria in there, so you can come by for tacos for lunch and things like that. So a good repositioning or reuse. You know, after the 7-year road reconstruction, we've got buildings that are kind of oriented backwards to where their access is. So it's great to see some repositioning and reinvestment in these properties along the corridor. Then as we move further to the west, it would be north of McKee Road across from Super Target. You might have heard of our Jamestown Quarry development, and we finally have buildings coming out of the ground along McKee Road at Fitchrona Road. So right at the corner of that intersection will be the Chase Bank. Then as you head to the west, Chick-fil-A is coming to Fitchburg. Then the third one is Crew Car Wash. They haven't started yet, but that's going to be the third one. And then the fourth one is another McDonald's is coming. So we're excited to see these moving forward. I think Chick-fil-A is planning to open, I heard, in like September, October. So I think they're on schedule. Once they get approvals for their building permit, they move pretty quick to put these up. They've got their prototypes ready to go. So some really good stuff happening. Again, this is one of those remnants of our township days as far as the reclamation of a quarry. So we're anxious to see this move forward. And then as you veer around Fitchrona Road to the east there, Corey Frank did Jamestown Quarry Apartments. And that's one of those Texas wrap where the parking's in the middle. And this is leasing up really well, he said. They've got 273 units with a variety of unit types. So this is, I think, about a $60 million investment at that site. So some healthy tax base for us. So with that, on June 24th, we worked with our Joint Review Board, the Tax Joint Review Board, to amend TID number 17, not only with a territory amendment, which is in the red here, this was the existing TID district boundaries, but also a project plan amendment. And the reason that that's important is we're going to help to underwrite the costs for some excess soil on the site, a huge retaining wall that's needed, and then undergrounding of stormwater. And that will enable the developer, Jeff Hunley from Colburn Hunley out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, to bring forward a almost 70,000 square foot retail center that will have shopping retail as part of it. There will be 4 tenants, and then a specialty grocer to be named at a later date. We can't talk about that yet, but there will be a specialty grocer, and our support for that is contingent upon a specific specialty grocer. So stay tuned for that. Okay. The other thing that will happen on the north end of that property is Corey Frank is going to do a second building. This one's going to be 290 units at that site. One thing I will say is, as you saw on the map here, we do have the Winger Stone ready mix plant included in the TID district. There are no plans and nothing imminent that will be going away. That still is their headquarters and operation, so I just want to be transparent about that. But if there's any decisions made in the future, we're at least positioned to move quickly on that. Then our friend Raveen Shah, who had brought us the Staybridge Suite some years ago, just recently opened the Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. That's been a goal of ours, is to kind of crack into the Marriott and Hilton brands, so we finally are in the Marriott portfolio. Hopefully we get to the Hilton portfolio in the Uptown neighborhood in the future. And then along Nesbitt Road, north of Gymfinity Gymnastics, kind of across from the Country Inn and Suites and Quivy's Grove, JT Klein broke ground on an 80-unit Weeda Litec senior housing development called Oak Ridge Apartments. There's also the possibility for a 100-unit market rate building at this site as well. But this is bringing us some much needed affordable senior housing on the west side of Fitchburg. We have known that we've needed inventory. Our housing plan called for 600 units we needed when we did that in 2019. I think with this one now we're over 500, so we're making really good progress on that. But we also realized that we needed it kind of strategically located along all three of our corridors, and we've been successful in doing that. And then now we're going right to the southeast corner of Fitchburg, where we border the village of Oregon down there. And you might know that we're home to the Oak Hill Correctional Campus in that area. And DOC is bringing us a new juvenile facility, 102,000 square feet for about 40 residents that will be located down there. So a significant investment. The other key thing that this is helpful for is the city of Fitchburg and the village of Oregon are engaged in joint conversations about future development at that Highway 14 MM interchange down there. CARPC, we've contracted with the Capital Area Regional Plan Commission to lead those joint discussions between our communities. But we think between this facility, the Oregon School District bought land for a future middle school on the east side of MM. That's kind of driving those conversations, where the land will be physically located in Fitchburg, but the utilities will come from the village of Oregon. So a unique partnership, an example of intergovernmental cooperation between two communities. Now I just got a few more slides. We're just going to cover housing real quickly. We adopted our first housing plan in 2019. We made a lot of good progress on the objectives. We established a housing committee. We created the position that Lorene has to give us more staff capacity. And we capitalized an affordable housing fund with $10.5 million from successful tax increment districts that we've had here in Fitchburg. We've been focused on rehabilitation of some smaller, older multifamily product. We've done some LIHTC deals to support those projects. We're looking at doing some land banking with that money, down payment assistance, and then we're working on a housing stability fund, more in the renter capacity for seniors that are vulnerable to homelessness there. So a lot of work being done on that. And then there's some public-private partnerships. We have a proposal from Gorman and Company about trying to bring us a single-family development where they would forego their developer fee if we would participate through TID and hopefully bring in some new smaller single-family product at the maybe 350 range. So stay tuned for that if we're able to put that together. So much changed in the housing market since our plan was adopted in 2019 that we had to update it already. So we worked with Redevelopment Resources, and the council approved that update in 2026. So we're going to continue with the programs that I've already mentioned, but adding to it is a continuation of the Efficiency Navigator. And then there's the CDBG Pro Housing Grant, so we're going to tap into some federal money to help us with some housing programs. And then we're also going to be creating a housing dashboard on our website, so you can kind of follow along some of the metrics and statistics and details. And while housing has become a local priority, we're in a regional housing market here, so we appreciate the efforts of the Dane County regional housing strategies. And as you've probably followed a lot of their numbers and headlines, Dane County, with our population growth and with the lack of supply many years ago that we're trying to catch up on, we need 7,000 housing units annually between now or when this plan was adopted in 2040, with a mix of single family and multifamily units. So it takes kind of all of our communities and the private sector partner collectively to bring that inventory to help get the market back into some kind of equilibrium and to address the affordability challenges that we all face. Here you can see Fitchburg's housing permits and why we have some of the issues that we do. After the last housing recession, look at that, for almost a good 10 years, we had less than 100 and less than 50 really single family permits. That really put us in a world of hurt. There, we do good on the multifamily and on the right there. Then we had some good years here, but now you can see in 25 and 26, we're trending down again. And that's not because there's not demand for single family in Fitchburg, it's the availability of lots. So anything you guys can do to help us with landowners and property owners to help open up things would be much appreciated, because it's going to take all of us collectively to kind of solve that challenge. Some of our recent subdivisions in the Verona School District are here: Stoner Prairie, Crescent Crossing, Quarry Vista, that all built out really nicely. But we're literally out of lots in the Verona School District at this point in time. Newcomb is bringing us multifamily in that school district right at the corner of Seminole Highway and Lacey Road. The first building here on the south end is under construction, a 3-story building with 59 units there. That will be the first of 5 buildings and 304 units in total. So that's a good pipeline for multifamily. Payne and Dolan actually has land already in the urban service area at Fitchrona on the left here and Lacey Road. That could bring us about 124, 94 single family and 30 twin family. But at this point, they haven't reached agreement with the development entity. So if anybody's interested, please reach out to Jeff Parisi. He's our contact at Payne and Dolan, because we would really like to see this land come forward sooner rather than later to help us fill that supply gap. We're trying to do some infill where we can. So as we move over by Fish Hatchery Road in the Oak Meadow subdivision, there's 11 single-family lots. That's in the Madison School District, so that's given us a little inventory in that area. And then in Swan Creek, the last developable lot there north of East Sherrill Parkway is Inspiration at Swan Creek. That's bringing us 57 single-family and twin home lots that are there. So that's helping with the pipeline. These are smaller lot single-family homes, good quality product over there, and finishing out that neighborhood. The Oregon School District, we still have some lots in availability. Fahey Fields is finishing up there. Viridian's doing their Highfield Reserve with a certain kind of inventory every year, so that's keeping a pipeline going. And then we still have multifamily development with the Rouse Company and the Irish Fields, which we very much appreciate continuing to go forward there. The Lacey Woods kind of duplex units were a really popular product for the empty nesters, and I know Jenny's here today, and she said we could sell that product all day long if we could bring more inventory of that in our community. So we need to find a home for more of that inventory and supply. And then the Lacey Ridge Townhomes at Notre Dame and Lacey Road, they built the first 2 buildings. So those are on the market right now. They've sold a couple of those units. Those are popular with young professionals, people just looking to get into ownership at this point in time, but that's some good inventory of product. Then the last neighborhood we have developing on the east side of MM is Terravesa, and it's hard to believe, but they're already in their 5th and final phase of that development with Encore, Tim O'Brien, and Altera doing some of the single-family housing there. Corey Frank has done a lot of the multifamily development. There's some good mixed use with the Flight Wine and Bourbon Bar, Toddy's Coffee, and of course the Forest Edge Elementary School and Mariposa Daycare have been just a magnet for families looking to locate in this neighborhood. The next signature project is Illuminous is bringing us the Cesta Senior Housing, and they're going to break ground this fall, hopefully in October. That will bring us 124 senior apartments, 40 assisted living, and then 12 memory care units. So that's going to be kind of that final piece of that Terravesa neighborhood in a signature project. And I just want to very quickly, if this works the way I've got some updated drone footage, a quick highlight tour of Terra Vista so you can actually see how this neighborhood has developed. And you can see our water tower in the distance on the earlier clip. They now have branded that with our Fitchburg logo if you've been by there recently on the north and south side of it. But you can see the variety of housing product, the mixed-use buildings right there, and just a really nice quality, sustainable neighborhood. There's going to be some park improvement investments. That's going to bring us some small kind of farmer market lots. But just really good development. Phil Sviam is the master developer of this entire neighborhood and has been a steady supply of housing product for us. So, and this falls under our smart code zoning too, and that's why you see kind of the buildings up to the street, the smaller lots, and kind of more narrower streets. One of the issues we're facing here is parking, as far as how to accommodate kind of parking. So our Public Works Department is working with residents on that. And that concludes our tour and development update. As you can see, 2025 and 26 have been busy years. Sometimes we've had a hard time keeping up the city staff with all the projects, but we prefer that than the alternative and not having enough going on in a fast-growing community like Fitchburg. So I'd be happy to take any questions on specific projects. I also have my business cards out at the table. If you ever see something with the project starting to move dirt, to shovel in the ground, and you have questions, feel free to reach out to me and give me a call or send me an email. We'd be happy to provide any information, introductions, or updates to people. But happy to take any questions if you've got any. I don't see any. I think we're done.
First time ever.
Yeah. So thanks again for coming out today. Always appreciate seeing everybody, and thanks for all that you do for Fitchburg, because all the things that I talked about take the private sector and community partners to drive this level of development. So thank you for all that you do for the city of Fitchburg. We really appreciate it.